How are you? Thank you for joining me on this broadcast at CITAM ChurchOnline. My name is Mwai, and I'm a pastor with Christ is the Answer Ministries. And in our last broadcast, we began a discussion which I was basing on this particular scripture in the Bible that says, "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." Other versions will say, even as your soul prospers. And the word prosper can also be interchanged with the word flourish. And we began this particular scripture is in 3 John chapter 1 and verse number 2, just for your own personal reference. And we were asking ourselves a question. See, a lot of times we are so concerned about prospering materially, maybe career-wise, in our family front, but a lot of times we never have that discussion. How do I also prosper in my own soul? So sometimes you find people who, on the physical, everything seems to be working out, have great jobs, they have a good home, a good car, but they're miserable. They're not even happy. They're not flourishing in their soul. And we actually began this discussion and asked ourselves, then how do I flourish? How do I prosper in my own soul? Even as this epistle tells us that we also ought to prosper. It is as important to flourish in my soul as it is to prosper in other things. And we began this discussion and we talked about the virtue of respect. Respect is a small word, but with great meaning and powerful impact in our lives. And we began by talking about respecting time. And a lot of times, a lot of people do not respect time because we sometimes do not really think about the things that we do, how we plan our activities, how we plan our lives. See, Moses, that old patriarch, he prayed a prayer and told the Lord, "Teach me to number my days aright, that I may gain a heart of wisdom." Respecting time may sound like a small thing, but I have come to realize that it has great impact and import in our lives. If I don't respect time, I tell you one thing, time will also not respect me. Now, we looked at a few things about respecting time. I just want to take that discussion just one step higher. And I want to just maybe share with you a lesson that I learned from my mother's cooking. See, I grew up here in the city of Nairobi. We were not a wealthy family. But one of the things that my mother used to love doing, she used to love making githeri. Now, for those of you who don't know what githeri is just a mixture of maize and beans and just boiled for a long time, all right? And how she would make this githeri, as a little boy growing up, we used to use this little jiko. Well, a jiko is a stove, just a locally made stove that will use charcoal. And the whole process of making this githeri will begin in the morning, and we will have to go and light this particular jiko, and just make sure that the charcoal begins burning. And then she will take a big, pot. In fact, those days we used to have this clay pot. It was not just the usual, metallic pots that we have, but she would use this clay pot. And she will put the maize and the beans, and then she will put a lot of water, and she will put it on this particular stove, for it to start cooking. And that process will actually take the whole day. When the charcoal ran out, you will have to go and add the charcoal. When the water ran out, you will have to go and add water. And this githeri would boil literally the whole day. And by the end of it all, the whole house would be filled with that aroma, of boiling beans and maize. And as a child, I didn't really appreciate, because I would wonder, why are you cooking this thing for so long? It was until I was grown up and moving out of home, and then I discovered that you can actually walk into a supermarket and buy some pre-prepared githeri, in the frozen foods section. You go home with it, throw it in the microwave, and within a moment you have a plate of githeri. Or alternatively, you can buy a pressure cooker and go and put it on your stove and put the same thing in there, the maize and the beans and the water, and within a few moments you have some githeri. But I discovered something. I discovered that the taste with the githeri from the frozen food section in the supermarket, or the githeri that is usually cooked in a few minutes in the pressure cooker, has a distinctive different taste than my mother's githeri that was cooked the whole day in that earthen pot. I discovered that the taste and the richness of the taste and the flavor of the githeri is harnessed through the clay pot, and which will boil the whole day. And that taught me something. This is a lesson that my mother's cooking taught me, that good things take time. There are no shortcuts in life. Learn to respect time. Some things you can be able to get them quickly because that's how they were designed. But anything that is worth keeping, anything that is worth your life, has to take time. Unfortunately, sometimes because we do not respect time, we want to run for these things. We want to become wealthy quickly. I want to take shortcuts in life so that I can climb up the ladder, maybe in my career. So I compromise my own values and do things that I ought not to do so that I can get this, I can get that. Good things take time. Learn to respect the currency of time. God has a way of maturing us over time. We are seasoned through time. We are seasoned by the things that we go through. We mature because of the things that we go through, but it does take time. They say that good wine that has aged over a period of time. Wine that is just prepared quickly and within a few days you have it, they say it's not the best one. But wine that has stayed sometimes years becomes better and better and more expensive. Learn to respect time and understand that you cannot rush certain processes. I hope that you've received something and you've had something and maybe it has applied in your life in one way or the other. But the bottom line is this: that your soul may flourish, learn to respect time. May the Lord bless you, even as you join me again in our next broadcast. You have been watching CITAM Church Online. My name is Jesse, and please plug in with us, talk to us, text us, or just post a message on our Facebook page, and or you can actually even call us, and somebody will always be there on the other side. But let us know what your thoughts are, and let us hear from you.